Okay, so if there's any question, I bet anyone would probably say a big fat yes to. The question is this: are you ready for summer? Okay, I'm not referring to summer vacation. No one ever objects to that. Ever. I mean, like, ever. Excuse me. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, this is Jan. Welcome to another episode of a No Frills video. Today happens to be Tuesday. How you doing today? It's longer than 1 minute, less than 5 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, we're all ready for summer vacation, but the question really is, are you ready for the summer season? Excuse me. See, little allergy time here. Oh, wow. Excuse me again. I keep it real. Anyway, listen, just to mention to you that while we may be ready to jump into a summer vacation, we may not be ready for emergency preparedness. Why? I know, I know. So yesterday, we saw a heat advisory. The city got on, said, this week is going to be extraordinarily hot, and on the early side for this area of the world, New York, because usually in New York we don't see extreme heat weeks till like literally like around like to middle July. So this is kind of on the early side because officially, as I record this, this is very late spring. Summer doesn't occur for a few days. So I'm thinking already of summer. I already trimmed my hair yesterday on my own. I said, I don't want all this long hair all over the place. So I did my every few months hair trim, and I had the nerve to cut some bangs with it too. You could tell it's a homemade haircut, but I don't care. It still feels better than all that long hair all over the place in the heat. Ugh. So that was one little way to prep for the summer. I'm just saying, all right. But what I like to do, I like to fill up bottles, like empty water bottles. Let's say you happen to have a few those portable water bottles that you get from the store after you've used them. Don't throw them out. You can use them at least one or two more times without having a problem. So I like to fill up those empty water bottles that I might have had in the past, 3/4 of the way, and I put them in the freezer. The reason is twofold. One, if there is a power outage and I have a few of those solid frozen bottles hanging out in the freezer, can I tell you something? It helps keep that freezer perfectly, especially if you just have like one of those like 6 hour power outages and you keep your freezer sealed, you do not open it and keep those frozen bottles in there. No ish. No ish. I haven't had an issue. I said ish. That's my way of saying issue, ish. Don't ask me why I do that. It's supposed to be an abbreviation, but it took more words for me to explain it to you anyway. Anyway, so for me, that's one thing that works. Start charging up anything that needs to be charged up. Lots of things today require USB cable, which is a great thing. It's not like you're not using like a battery, but if you use a USB cable for anything, charge that whatever item it is up, and that'll do just fine. I'm just saying. So do that while you can, while the going is good, before all the big problematic stuff. I'm serious. And I do encourage buying a portable fan that you can recharge on USB. You could take it with you anywhere. You could use it in your RV. You could take it outside with you. If you have one of those like so humid, like ugh kind of day, but you want to sit outside on your porch, whatever, and you take this, lightweight fan with you. Now, the one I got has like lights on. It's really, really cool. So, like, heaven forbid of a power outage, I always keep it charged. And I love that it has the built-in light to it, so I can just tap that on. It's like a spare light. Something goes wrong and it's dark out, and just tap that on and turn on that fan, and it really, really works. So for full charge, it takes like X number of hours, but then it remains useful for X number of hours. So especially if you're not loving no air circulation, this thing is a great thing to have. I highly recommend that you get those types of fans. The one that I got, I paid for about 49.95, $50 on Amazon. I don't get a dime for saying it, but I'm just saying, and it is the truth. It's a really, really great item. So I got mine about, I think, over a year ago. And sometimes the apartment gets really stuffy, and even in the middle of the winter, because sometimes the artificial, the heat comes up way too much. And I don't control the heat here. This is controlled by in the building type thing. So what I do is open my window a little bit to get fresh air circulating. But I like to keep the fan handy because that also helps in the circulation. So again, thumbs up for the circulation. I went over 5 minutes on this no frills. I'm sorry. But this is important. It is important. Emergency preparedness is always important. So if it takes a little longer, it takes a little longer. All right. Check on your food stockpile. Some people think that stockpiles are for the apocalypse. Okay. This is not what about the apocalypse. We're talking about like the everyday, ordinary, or extraordinary, crazy weather that could come our way. So make sure you have, the logical stuff. It doesn't have to be a huge stockpile. Keep a few I mean, if you're starting small, just get started. That's the whole thing. Keep shelf stable items like canned meats, canned fruits. We talk about this almost all the time, but keep canned proteins and keep a can opener available. Sometimes people think that they buy cans and that every top is flip top. No, every top is not flip top. They're great. We love them, but not all cans are flip top. So make sure you have yourself a good little manual can opener. It's like the smallest things sometimes make the biggest difference. Don't ask me why. It's just the way it works. Am I right or am I right? Keep some, besides the meats and the proteins, keep some canned fruits, canned veggies available, canned beans. You never know how long a power outage could go. But just knowing you have these things, keep like a box of maybe cereal type bars, may want them a little sweet on hand, maybe a box of those Pop Tarts, for example, they're good to have. Again, I don't get a dime extra for saying these items, but it is a good idea to have them. Don't forget to wear lightly colored clothing on super hot days. Don't go outside when if you have to go outside. Don't wear like dark clothing. It just attracts the heat a little more. It makes you feel hotter for some reason, and it just does. Choose breathable fabrics. Personally, I like cotton clothes when the weather gets like that, and all the good stuff. Stay hydrated. All the logical stuff, probably heard it a million times. But the main thing is that we do take good care, and we are precautious. Also, make a few phone calls. Check on anyone that might live on the other side of town, doesn't have anybody to help them. Call up a senior, or someone that might be physically challenged, or just to say hello. See how they're doing. Do they have an air conditioner? Some areas have cooling centers. Stick to your local news information and follow their suggestions, follow their guidelines just to see if there are cooling centers, for seniors or whomever may be invited to go to that for the in case there's a non-availability of air conditioning for the senior. But keeping fans on hand is very, very good, very important. Stay hydrated and do what you have to do. All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry that it was a little bit longer today, but emergency preparedness is really an important thing. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Thank you so much.